host, John Savage with Unwind Financial, coming to you again with another video. Just real quick, just wanted to talk about something on identity theft. So, as we know, there's about 8.7 million cases of identity theft that we know of throughout at least the United States each year. So, some of those are a lot of small cases. I've experienced that, someone trying to do a transaction while I've done one thing, and it shows them in Michigan. I'm like, I'm not in Michigan. Thankfully, I had a great institution that is very good about anything that looks sketchy. Even if I'm doing a transaction that's not typical, they'll block it. They'll notify me by phone or they'll call me, but they'll let me know, hey, there's a transaction or you need to call us. And so I've had a great experience, thankfully, and also know some steps to take to be preventative. But yeah, so when it comes to identity theft, that's something, it is a real thing. Many times we're with a busy life, pulling out cards, becoming more of a cashless society. It's easy to have someone, in some cases, you're in line, everybody's crowded. Some people are rushing nowadays. People can see you punching in your numbers. Two, if you're writing a check and someone's right up under you and they're very good at remembering numbers, then they can just look at your account number. All they need is the account number on the check, knowing the type of bank. They can get the routing number online. So thieves are very good about that as well. So there's a lot of information that they know of and that they have. So if they can get part of your information, then they can gather some of the other information that's out there online. One of the things I just wanted to go over some quick steps is ways to help prevent identity theft and also to better secure your information in general. I don't always trust people, employees who don't have a good attitude, but yet they're doing my transactions with the company, whether it's paperwork, whether it's going to the grocery store. I don't trust it when we have to do certain exchanges of transactions. So it's always good to monitor your information and have alerts. So what I do on my phone, I have alerts for different type of cards, whether it's a blockchain account or a cryptocurrency account that I'm using. I get alerts immediately if I do a transaction, if I'm converting anything from dollars to crypto and crypto to dollars. I do a transaction with the card, with cryptocurrency, I get an alert immediately. As soon as that transaction is done, I know the date, time, where it was, and the amount of money, and I can verify it immediately. And so then there's also Social Security Administration. So I just want to go over that real briefly. So Social Security Administration, some ways to be preventative, as I was saying, is you can go on there and set up an account for free. Put all your information in there, and it's good to do it when you don't need to do it. Don't think about, well, I'm not going to be retired for another 15, 20, 30 years. Still go ahead and set up an account with all your passwords and security information now. Why? Because thieves, if they know about those things, they'll go into the account, and if they know how to do it and have enough information on you, they'll set up an account potentially in your name, which we've seen during COVID. People are getting checks from tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Even the crime rings you probably saw from Florida to California, where money was just being issued. Obviously, our government could not do a good job of checks and balances. They have a hard time checks and balancing themselves, right? So we can't depend on the government. We got to depend on each other, working together, educating each other, and knowing some steps to take. So that's one way to be preventative. Go on the Social Security Administration website, set up an account with all your security credentials, and also where you can get alerts and updates on your Social Security information. Go to the CFPB. CFPB actually has a list of I think it's like about 30 organizations or so that track our information, from having auto insurance, and maybe claims are submitted there. They're not going to be submitted on the regular TransUnion, Equifax, or Experian. But those are some other companies that are credit reporting agencies, are what they're called. So if housing, anything to do with housing, anything to do with rent, landlords, anything to do with auto insurance or cases. Sometimes people will say, oh, I got this letter, I got this information. No, that's where you can also go set up accounts again free with all those organizations, and you can request reports free each year to find out the status if anything's been reported falsely or inaccurately on your those reports. So that if a landlord's pulling something, an auto dealer's pulling something, an auto insurance company's pulling something, excuse me, you'll know exactly what's on there. You can take corrective action. But also it's another way to help prevent fraud. If something is on your information as well, you have that information, and then you can take steps to remedy those things. There are even doing transactions. Walmart tracks all of our cards. So if you're using, again, credit cards, debit cards, they track that information. I didn't realize that they did that. When I learned that they did that, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to be able to track those things. So sometimes if someone has too many returns, whether it's your family gives you stuff every year that you don't want or need, and you take it back, whatever, regardless of the reason, if they think you're having too many take backs for some reason, and there's a red flag that comes up in their system that's alerted, then it could be, I'm sorry, we can't take that back, and you're wondering why they're acting funny. Well, they're not going to tell you. They'll see something on their end that pops up, but you won't see it and won't necessarily know, even if you've done nothing wrong at all. Um, and then, so those are just some things to look for. There's a list. You can go on the CFPB website, and that's the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. So they're the ones that have fought companies, and where people have filed complaints on different things, from student loans to credit card companies to even home loan companies where they've been discriminated against. Or if they think they've been discriminated against, they can upload information and go through a series of questions. That's actually really seamless. It's a great user experience. I've gone through the process and know what it's like. So I can tell you that it is a seamless process to go on there and upload information. They track it, they give you updates. Um, and then, of course, with TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, you see anything that's not right on your credit reports. Again, dispute those things. You can go to annualcreditreport.com. That's annualcreditreport.com as well. And then there's the FTC. Um, and oh, real quick, so when you're disputing things, don't go and take information and submit it to all three companies. If you looked at your reports and you see that a creditor is only reporting to two, it doesn't matter if it's a credit card company, a bank, or whoever. You just want to make sure that information is accurate, up to date, and if there's anything that's sketchy that you know it's not you. I had one time where something was on my credit report, like I lived in a state that I've never lived to this day, and I actually wasn't even in the country, and it was a minor. Go figure. So I don't know. Someone just put that on my information, and the name was wrong too. So I had to go through a process of getting that updated. People don't always do their job well. Sometimes you got to do their job for them, and unfortunately, yes, it takes a little more work, but it's worth it in the long run. So setting up accounts with the credit bureaus, going to annualcreditreport.com, you can set up for free. You can check your credit reports for free. But when you're doing disputes, just make sure you send letters if you have to, with all your basic credential information, your ID information, stating specifically, stick to the facts of the account that you're disputing, what needs to be corrected, or if it's not your information, let them know that. And also, another good thing to do is putting credit freezes on your account. Those are some of the tips and things I go over with people to really encourage them and help them. There's a lot more to do with identity theft. I'm also have an insurance company, Unwind Financial Insurance Services, where I have products from identity theft to help people with protecting their identity and getting the help they need. It's nice to pay $15, $20 a month, and knowing that you have some additional support and security and access to attorneys and a whole team of people, along with maybe up to $1 million in insurance, depending on your plan, to help protect you if you do become a victim of a significant case of identity theft, who can work with you. There's police reports you got to do. There's so much you got to do, but when you have a team working with you, you have some coverages in place, it makes all the difference. Same thing with cyber coverage as well. I have that as well for those who are domestic in the United States, live here. They can be traveling, but them and their family and their devices can be protected and covered, including cyberbullying. But those are just some tips, just some information I wanted to go over for today. Until next time, unwind. And to learn more, you can go to Unwind Financial. Um, Sorry, I have two different sites. So to learn more, you can go to uwfinsurance.com, uwfinsurance.com. And if you have any questions, you can email me. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions, as well as I do insurance reviews also, just to look at your risk exposures and provide recommendations and quotes. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.